There have been requests for creating buttons and labels in MidiDesigner Pro that, when on, change colors and or change text and or change brightness. This can be accomplished with overlapping panels and objects such as buttons and labels. I have designed several layered layouts and found the best way, at least for me, to handle creating and editing them. This is part 2 of a 3-part tutorial for creating and editing layers in MidiDesigner Design Mode. Part 1 is an introduction and demonstration of using layers. Part 2 shows how to create and assemble a layered layout. Part 3 shows how to edit the layout such that the layering effect is maintained. A few tips and hints about overlaying layers in MidiDesigner Pro. A few tips and hints to summarize the process. Starting with a green column pre-assembled into layers on the left page, the blue column from the right page will be assembled onto the left page to show the concept. The base panel encompasses all columns. The green, blue, and others you may include. Individual show and hide panels cover their respective buttons. The off label and buttons are on the left side of the right page. The show and hide panels with the attached on labels are on the right side of the page. They are controlled by their corresponding buttons. The labels have been attached to the panels using Allow Panel controls. Begin by moving the buttons and labels over the blue panel on the left page. Move label 3 first, then button 131, so the label is under the button. Then move button 132, followed with label 4 over button 132. Finally, move button 133, followed by label 6. Next, move the knobs and other hidden buttons or controls into their planned location. Note, this is the procedure that I am using to show some variation. You would pick a specific procedure and stick with that for all layered controls. Next, select the base panel and activate Allow Panel Controls. Notice there are 15 attached objects. We can count them to verify. Notice button 168 moved to the top of its hidden panel. Now move the base panel to see the buttons and knobs are still attached to the base. Both green and blue are still attached. Now send to back. This puts the layers, including button 168, back in order. Alternately, filter the labels and others and select the panels with their attached labels and move over the buttons. The correct behavior is seen by turning the buttons off and on again. Finally, move the blue top panel over the blue controls. Change the alpha of the blue panel to see its effect. Then turn the buttons on and off to see the effect of the top panel. Optionally, the top panel can be moved over the buttons so that it is between the base layer and the hidden panel layer. This creates a different effect. Turn the buttons on and off again to see the effect of the top panel. In the design mode, let's adjust the top panel such that the bottom is just below the base panel. This will allow us to easily select the top panel without having the base panel selected. Let's select the base panel, move it to the back, and then verify that the buttons function as desired. It is a good idea at this point to save your work and possibly even lock the design mode so you can't accidentally disrupt the layering effect. Part 3 will continue with how to edit a layered layout in MidiDesigner Pro. This is Don. You can contact me with questions or comments at djsorg2062@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.